Right now, you're about to see the proven strategy behind a six-figure digital dropshipping brand. It's one thing to be able to show sales, but it's a completely different story when you're looking at the profits behind the scenes. And that's exactly why I love solving real-life problems with digital solutions. Maybe you've tried this yourself or considered trying it, and if so, you know that dropshipping physical products from overseas can be an absolute nightmare, not just because of things like the margins, but also because of things that lead to having an unhappy customer experience. Long shipping times, wrong product, weird packaging, which then can lead to things that absolutely destroy your business. Things like disputes affecting your payment processor, things like bad reviews and reports on your ads, getting your ad account disabled. And overall, what I've had to realize here in my own experience is that if you really want to start making consistent profits online, I had to start incorporating digital products into my own Wi-Fi money arsenal. And now digital dropshipping and what I'm showing you here today is a type of e-commerce method where you sell something that can instantly be delivered to your customer. So basically it costs you something one time and then you sell it over and over as many times as you can. But what's most important and the reason why we're even able to sell these products is because we're solving real life problems with digital solutions. And here's the side by side when comparing the two types of dropshipping models. You have digital dropshipping here with upwards of 97% profit margins before any marketing costs. You have instant order fulfillment. You have easy customer support. It's easy to automate. And you have free traffic hack opportunities, which means you don't have to pay for paid ads right off the bat. So right now, what I'm going to do is show you the proven strategy behind a profitable digital dropshipping brand and how you could possibly replicate this for yourself within 30 days as long as you take action and stick to the plan. So make sure you stay tuned because I'm going to drop a lot of golden nuggets on how you can do this for yourself. And before we even get into everything, I wanted to show you this video that I took just yesterday. I was having lunch with my buddy Justin. Look at this.
$459 today.
Okay.
Not bad.
Valid.
So we'll see how we, let's see how many we have when we get back from lunch.
Yesterday was a record day or no?
Yesterday was a record day.
Hey, double record days.
So back to back.
He actually started his own digital dropshipping brand not that long ago. And he just hit his first 1K day this week. And yesterday when we met up, I took that video, or about halfway through the day, he had done $459 in sales at that point. But let's talk now about how to profitably dropship digital products. And the first pillar here is your offer. Because really what we're going to be covering inside of this video are three different pillars. The first one is the offer, which is basically what we're actually going to be selling and who we're going to be selling it to. And look, if you skip this part, you aren't going to be able to make any money with this. So make sure you pay attention here. Because unlike selling just an existing physical product that's out there, we actually get to choose what we're going to sell. And that's why I call it an offer. But it needs to be something that solves a problem. And the cool thing is that we know what problems we have. We're all humans, right? So we have problems that fall under one of these main pain point categories of health, wealth, happiness, or relationships. So if you can selflessly prove through your digital dropshipping brand that you can solve someone's problem through your solutions, you can make tons of money doing it. And a lot of people do it in a lot of different ways. So the best way for you to get started if you're a beginner with your offer is to just first break down these pain point categories. Because if I'm just thinking about being a niche of how to get healthy or how to make money or how to have a great relationship, that's not very specific. And it's going to make it a lot harder to market and actually craft an irresistible offer. So under the health category, some things that may get a little bit specific could be in terms of people that want to lose specific fat. They want to build muscle, or they're into meditating and just overall becoming more mindful. Maybe inside of the wealth category, it's about investing or starting a certain type of business or helping them find a career path that's corporate and works for them. Or in the relationships, maybe it's finding a partner, male, female, it doesn't matter. Making love, meeting new people. There are so many different subcategories under each of these that you could dive into that solve a problem for people. And then you have to figure out who is your ideal customer actually going to be. Because once you decide on a sub niche, you really need to think about who it is that you're going to be serving. So for example, let's say here, I'm going to choose, let's say the wealth category and starting a business. It's still pretty general, but we're going to narrow it down. So just stick with me here because next we're figuring out who our ideal customer is. And I like to ask these questions, what is their age? What is their gender? Where are they from? What do they do for work? What is their favorite color? What type of music do they listen to? What are their goals? What are their struggles? So when answering these questions inside of my niche, it gives me everything that I need to know to really turn this from like a general perspective of starting a business to like, okay, this is an exact demographic that I'm going to be targeting and talking to. And by answering these questions, it just makes everything so much easier. So at this stage, you should be able to know like exactly what problem you're going to solve and for who. So for example, let's say I'm doing the starting a business category, and I'm going to say that my ideal customer is going to be underpaid and overworked women, create a consistent income through an at-home exclusive content business model. Now, I'm not only in a specific pain point category and a specific sub-niche, but I'm also targeting a specific demographic. So now what would I actually be selling them, and how would I actually turn this promise here into a digital product offer? So after I know those things, I can start breaking down the actual deliverables to sell. And the first question that you really need to ask yourself is, for this ideal customer, do they need a new opportunity or an improvement offer? Now, following just my example statement above right here, the ideal customer best fits a new opportunity. And honestly, 9 times out of 10, this will be the case. Improvement offers are typically just better sold once you have an existing customer base that already trusts you. And now we actually need to create our vehicle that is going to take our ideal customer from pain, the pain point that they have now, to pleasure. But first, we have to remember and follow this criteria right here. There's really only 3 main things. 1, it must be able to be delivered instantly to our customers. 2, it must solve a problem the customer has. And 3, it must be valuable. And I put testimonials in mind here because the absolute best case scenario with your own digital dropshipping brand is that someone doesn't just buy your product, but that they buy it, they use it, they get value and a result from it, and then they share that result with you so you can leverage it in your marketing in the future to scale even higher and with more actual results behind it. So in this case, I chose my example that I mentioned just because I know that I have value, let's say, that I can literally use to help a girl make a ton of money doing this. But you don't need to know your solution right now. You just need to be aware of the problem and be willing enough to actually find the solution to sell. Because information isn't necessarily the problem right now. We have YouTube, we have artificial intelligence, we have all these resources at our disposal, but the problem is that it's too much information and people don't know how to apply that or how to organize it. So we're making an offer that people can invest in where they are paying for convenience, where all this information is just simplified into one place that helps them specifically solve their own specific problem. And really, there are 3 winning product buckets for digital dropshipping. So for me, in my example, this is what I would do. I would start with a self-paced product for proof of concept. To me, proof of concept is just like this first actual sale. Me seeing that this is something that someone is actually willing to spend money on. Now, self-paced products in the digital dropshipping world can be like quick guides, like ebooks, or also something as simple as like a master class. And then over time, you could scale with things that require more commitment, more effort, more knowledge and understanding and problem solving, which are things that are like done with you. Let's say like a video course with support, or done for you being like, let's say for my example, a custom content schedule. And here's exactly what you need to post on what day. The quickest way to have a self-paced product made is to make it yourself, or hire a writer using a freelancer service, and then an ebook designer to bring it all together, such as Canva. And what I would do for my example, if I had to get into this niche and create an offer around it, what I would do is go onto TikTok and Instagram and look for these types of girls that already do this exclusive content thing and just cold message them and ask them how much would they charge for a 30-minute interview, let's say, and to record it. And I'm talking about just an actual interview where I would have a list of questions laid out that I would want to ask this person from their perspective. I could then ask these questions, get the answers from someone who's actually in the trenches doing it. And then I would have that recording and then have a freelancer or AI tool summarize that content, take out, transcript it, and turn it into a digital case study, a digital guide. So that way I'm solving the problem by having a self-paced digital product to sell, but it's not just AI written slop or something by a freelancer that doesn't know anything about that. Instead, it's built on the foundation of someone that's actually done it. And that also becomes an advantage you have whenever you get into marketing. And the other 2 buckets, they're more in depth, but I teach how to do that inside of Digital Dropshipping Mastery. Now, the second pillar here for how to profitably dropship digital products is your marketing. So when I say the word marketing, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? For most people, it's things like commercials, ads, and things like that. But really where most people go wrong when building an online business is not realizing that marketing is more than just what you pay for. It's the words you use, the name of your products, how you present yourself, your business, and every other little step along the way. So when you understand this concept, you're going to be able to bring in customers from different places without ever having to rely on one single source. Because it's not just about what you pay for. It's about every way you present your brand. And when you do this successfully, that means you're presenting your offer correctly, which means that it's not a matter of the paid ads platform or the organic platform you're relying on, but instead you have something that's solid that can work on pretty much any platform So when you see one that's working, you can look where your customers are coming from and what steps they're taking and then focus on that channel. And now let's talk about branding, because a cool quote that I heard on a recent podcast was that a personal brand is just the digitization of reputation. And I believe the same exact thing for e-commerce brands. We're not spending hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars building a brick and mortar retail business. We're building something online in the span of a few days. So we have to build a reputation in this digital world. And the way that we use branding to our advantage in digital dropshipping is by creating perceived value through our graphics and words, because we don't have that retail space or that physical product to show. And I like to also call this, it's just wrapping paper. That's all it is. So maybe it costs you $50 to have an amazing e-guide made, but that doesn't mean you can't sell it for $50 over and over and over. Like, some people do believe that it is hard to dropship digital products just because we can't order it online and take some pictures. But I say it's an advantage because you are never reliant on just a simple piece of logic. We can craft our offer, our marketing, and change it at any time and any point. So the next step is going to be choosing a brand name. And I don't suggest you get stuck on this because it can always be changed, just like I mentioned. So let's say the brand could be something like the Big Booty Boot Camp or Self-Made Sexies. I like the idea of Self-Made Sexies better because it feels more community-oriented and identity-based, which is a big driver for people investing into digital products because they want to feel heard and they want to feel like they are a part of something good. And then the self-paced product could be something like the $10,000 booty, how she did it in 30 days. And literally one of the most slept on strategies is still, to this day, organic marketing. You know, in the early stages of starting a new digital dropshipping store, there's two main purposes of doing this. One is to test potential ad creatives for free. Sure, we get free traffic, we can see which works better. But two, to build a community of repeat viewers. Because one of the great things about digital dropshipping is that it's much easier to capture an organic audience simply because we are problem solvers. Like, we can create a theme page without showing our face that can build a community of these people that would be buyers of our product. Nobody wants to follow a page on Instagram that's about a camera lens cover. So why would you want to build an organic audience? Well, because truthfully, on average, it takes someone over 10 times of seeing you to actually make a purchase. So by doing this and doing organic content, we're not only learning how to message our audience and relate to them and see what clicks with them, but we're also constantly warming up future sales by posting on TikTok and Instagram Reels. So let's break it down for my example. We don't have our system set up yet, but what type of content can I actually post? And I recommend going to my last video where I break down my full 4-step framework with examples. But here are the 3 main categories. And all of these are going to be short form videos that have text bubbles and trending sounds in the background. And the first one is value. So value is where it's more talking head based. And you can do this with UGC, even AI right now. And this typically isn't going to be your most viral type of content, but the most filtering. And when I say filtering, all I mean is that it's immediately going to dissuade someone who is not your ideal avatar from continuing to watch or following your page. But if it is someone that does relate to your ideal avatar, it's really going to click with them and it's going to get them very interested. The second form is transformation. This is just showing that pain to pleasure, that point A to point B, and how that happened. And 3 is lifestyle. Lifestyle is just where we're leveraging existing viral content online and doing like what I call the piggyback method. Because they've already done the heavy lifting, they've already gone viral with specific hooks, so we can just use that to our advantage. And typically what I like to do if I'm going to do this is to plan out an organic campaign for 7 days to figure out exactly what content type performs best, and then specifically which videos perform best so I can run them as ads. So example day 1 could be, at 9 a.m., I'm gonna post a value video, 3 p.m., transformation video, 9 p.m., lifestyle video, and just sticking to the plan. It's not an emotional thing about whether this video is performing or it's not. It's just about posting the same schedule every day for a week straight without changing any major variables, so that way you're making a commitment and having a plan from the start that you don't break. And a quick lesson. In any niche of any digital solution, whether you're doing this yourself or with others, you need to understand that people don't value free as much as they value what they pay for. So when you're providing value in your problem-solving niche, it's sometimes difficult to hold back. I had a mentor literally tell me that I was doing a disservice to my customers by not charging for certain things, because payment is just a form of commitment. And for your brand to grow, you need your solutions to work. And for them to work, you need commitment from the customer. So just remember that when you're building a digital dropshipping brand, you really need people to pay for your stuff. So not only are you generating revenue and profits, but that you're actually creating a commitment from them that increases the likelihood of them not only using the product, but getting the results and then sharing that with you. There's a reason why some of the most prestigious universities and colleges in the entire United States are also some of the most expensive. And now pillar number 3 for how to profitably dropship digital products is our systems. So we've talked about some of the pretty stuff, but now we need to get technical. Luckily, we're in a digital age now where it's so easy to automate things that used to take a lot of manpower and time. And I'm not going to keep you here forever and dive into the nitty-gritty because that's what my mastery program is for. But instead, I want to focus on the main system strategy behind a profitable digital dropshipping brand. First being your funnel objective. So in your funnel, ultimately the reason why most people want to start a business is to make money. It's a very valid and it's a necessary component. But if you want to make tons of profit, you need to think a little bit deeper than just your first few sales. So remember earlier at pillar 1 when I said that if you skip this part, you aren't going to make money. I meant that. So we were talking about understanding exactly what problem you're solving and who you're solving it for, because making your initial sales with digital dropshipping isn't too difficult, but where many struggle is the consistency. And that's because they fail to remember who they are serving. So here's a winning funnel structure that you can copy when you're starting your own digital dropshipping brand. It looks like this right here. You start by doing organic marketing to see how you can capture attention of your ideal avatar. Then you can identify some potential winning ad creatives from your organic posts. And then you start paid advertising, send that traffic to your proof of concept offer, make sales, and then reach out to your customers for a survey incentive where you ask them questions about their experience, where they're at in your niche, what they need help with, what they're confused about. And that literally gives you all of the answers that you need to not only make your marketing stronger and your wording stronger, your branding, but also it tells you exactly what other vehicles you need to create for the ideal avatar. Then you help them get results, testimonials, and then scale. And you can do all of this faceless. So when it comes to building out your own digital dropshipping brand and bring your idea to life, like there are many options, but I've found that the absolute quickest way to go from scratch to making your first sales is by using Shopify. So there are a couple customization apps I like to use to really bring everything to life. But overall, Shopify has what you need. And here's an example lander that we built inside of DDM. It looks a little like this. It has the main benefits, call to actions, a specific copy structure. You can also use standard product pages on Shopify if you're a beginner. And ClickFunnels is a little bit more of an advanced tool that I like to use for higher ticket offers. And what's also cool now is that Shopify has done a really good job at being able to capture enhanced analytics to help you understand the ins and outs of your business, cost-wise, as well as your customer journey. So if you want to learn more and accelerate your process in building your own digital dropshipping brand and join the DDM 2.0 VIP program, just DM me the word YouTube on Instagram at Tanner with 2 R's at the end, and we'll go over everything in the DMs. I'm not gonna make you hop on a call or anything crazy like that, because I believe when value is clear, decisions are easy. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a big like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.